Hey, let me first off, hold on, because I want to piggyback off of what you just said right there, and let me reset because we're going over time, and I'm
Yeah.
going to wrap this up because we could talk for like 2 hours. Philly Tom Lawlor joining us, New Japan Pro Wrestling, Fighting Spirit Unleashed tonight. If you're listening to this on the radio tonight, Samstown Live, we will be in the building. This gentleman, Tom Lawlor, will be taking on Gabe Kidd, and you talk about the camaraderie and the pride that everyone has in the locker room coming from UFC. I think it struck me. It struck me when I heard Ronda Rousey when she talked about when she first got into professional wrestling and she signed the deal and was dedicated in doing this. She talked about how walking into an arena, being a UFC fighter, her mentality was it's me against the world because everyone in this building wants to see me lose, and that's the mentality I had to have to go out there and fight and do what I had to do. Whereas professional wrestling, like, look, at the end of the day, obviously egos are involved, but the goal should be to sell them as much tickets as possible and to put on a good show for those watching at home and for those in the building, right? The adjustment of the locker room of it's everyone for yourselves in UFC or MMA compared to, yo, we have a show to put on and there's a whole bunch of pieces that need to come together to make that happen.
Yeah, I love this question because I'll get asked this at like wrestling shows. People will be like, "Hey, what's it like? What's the locker room like backstage at a UFC event?" It's like, what do you mean? Like, you're not hanging out with these people. You're
It's
not
you and your
talking to
team.
them. You're not. Yeah, it's you and three dudes who you've been talking to all week. Maybe you see like the other team. You know what I mean? And you like wave at them like, "Oh, okay, yeah, we'll see you in a couple
Head
days."
nod, head nod.
Yeah, one of these. I see you. Maybe you talk to like teams that of guys that aren't in your weight class because they're not a threat, but it's like polar opposites, right? In pro wrestling, and like you mentioned, there's obviously egos get involved in anything, right? So there's going to be people who will backstab you in pro wrestling. There's people who will lie to your face. There's people who will straight up, be blatant about not wanting to help you. So you get kind of the same personalities, but you just don't even like interact with them in the MMA world. Everybody is out to get you, like Ronda Rousey was saying, and like if you go in with a different mindset than that, it can really screw you in the long run. Nobody in MMA is above fighting their friend for money. There was times where I would be like, I don't want to fight that guy, I like that guy, but at the end of the day, if you ask me right now, I don't give a shit. You know what I mean? Like, it's all about making money. So it's like the starkest contrast you could have. They are not even on the same planet when it comes to how people act backstage in wrestling and how they act in MMA. And it's weird because like I can't tell you that one subset of people is more insane than the other. They're both just equally as nuts, you know what I mean? In different ways.